My name is Ryan Robertson. I have the privilege of leading an organization called Reaching and Teaching. What we do is we come alongside local churches as they send out qualified missionaries to make mature disciples, establish healthy churches, train local leaders. So you've got evangelism, discipleship, church planning, leadership development. We do that all over the world in a number of different countries, many global cities, and we also help facilitate teams that go to unreached language groups. What that is places where, as far as we know, that language has never heard the gospel in their language. They don't have a church that gathers in that language, and they don't have the scriptures in their language. And so we help teams get there as well to land in those frontier areas and Lord willing, see churches planted in the years ahead. Right now we're in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia. Kuala Lumpur is a city of about 8 million people. It's a global crossroads city where you've got people from all over the world landing in this specific city to live life, to get an opportunity to grow their family, to get good jobs. Many of them are coming from places that are hostile to the gospel, and we're seeing a lot of them right here in this place. Our goal here in this place is to really highlight the gospel need in a city like Kuala Lumpur. Over 8 million people, many of them from areas that are hostile to the gospel, where here in Kuala Lumpur we can plant churches, we can raise up some men that can elder in those churches, and then we can send them back even to some of these places that would be tough for Westerners to get to. They can do indigenous church planning in their home countries. Demographically, KL's diverse. So 46% of the population is Malay, so native Malays to Malaysia. Another 41% are Chinese. A lot of Chinese Malaysians here. About 10% of the population is Indian, and then the other 3% comes from a myriad of different nations. And they're all coming together in this place, Kuala Lumpur, very multi-ethnic. And then the religious backgrounds of those different places, they're bringing with them to Malaysia. And so you've got Tao Buddhists, you've got Hindus, you've got Muslims. The official state religion of Malaysia is Islam. And then you've got a small minority of Christians in this place. Mixed in with that, you've got various cults that are present as well. But the three major religions are Tao Buddhism, Islam, and Hinduism. And that really reflects those three majority groups that are here, the Malays, the Chinese, and the Indians. Yeah, so about a year ago, we talked with our friends at Humble Beast about what it would look like for them to work with Reaching and Teaching to produce a series of videos in global cities around the world. When I look at the Great Century of Missions, one of the things that was going on between 1792 and 1910 is stories were being told around the world of what God was doing in needy places. And you had future missionaries picking up newspapers, reading these incredible stories of what God was doing. And the Lord was using that to stir their hearts to go to some of these places. I think about Adoniram Judson picking up a book about Myanmar, which was known as Burma back then. And the Lord stirred in his heart, I think the book was called A Star in the East. The Lord gave him a desire to go to Burma, to Myanmar, just by reading that book. And so we want to do something similar today. So we called up our friends at Humble Beast who are super good at storytelling. We brought in Josh Wan to shoot video for us. And what we want to do is, for this generation, start telling compelling stories of gospel need and what God is doing around the world in various places. And we wanted to do it with those two friends. What we also want to do is we want to see healthy churches planted here. We are church-centered in our mission strategy, which means that we believe that the local church is the means and the end of missions. And so when we talk about healthy local churches, we are totally taking the definition of a healthy local church that we get from our friend Nine Marks. So Nine Marks is here as well in order to help kind of set the vision, kind of pioneer some church planting ideas in some of these areas so that we can be very clear on our definitions. When we talk about healthy churches, this is what we mean. And there's nobody better than to bring along for us the Nine Marks in that adventure. Yeah, our primary audience are people who are aspiring to be missionaries one day, people who are considering that, and their local churches. So we have the privilege of being a major sponsor at the Cross Conference. Last year there were 11,000 young people that showed up at that conference. They're expecting even more this year. And what we want to do is kind of highlight different areas around the world for those Cross attendees and their churches. And Thomas, honestly, beyond that, we want to see churches all across the U.S. catch a vision for the opportunity that's in places like Kuala Lumpur to see really good churches planted, coming alongside some of the existing work that's happening in these places so that we can make Christ known in a very needy place like Kuala Lumpur. And so what we want to do is really just tell a captivating story of gospel need that the Lord would use to stir the hearts of his people to come and be a part of the work here.